Bonjour. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now are grades. Everybody always gets way too stressed out about grades, okay? So take a deep breath, okay, right? It'll be great. Don't worry about it. Don't stress too much, please, okay? But they're necessary evil, unfortunately, grades are, so we got to talk about them. Okay, so in my class, I use a weighted grading scale, a weighted grading system, which means that some things are worth more than others, okay, depending on the weights. And I have another video that talks about weighted grading scale and also shows you some tricks on Progress Book that are really handy when you're looking at your grades. I highly suggest that you watch that too, okay? But for right now, we're going to talk about the 3 categories of grades in my class. The first one is activities and assignments, and those are worth 25% of your overall grade in the class, okay? Activities and assignments could be things that we do in class, like maybe we play a Kahoot to review in class one day, and I give you points for that activity, right? Or it could be a homework assignment, right? Okay, your homework assignment is to do 3 different activities on Quizlet for our new vocabulary. There you go, okay? So those are activities and assignments. Our next category is assessments, and assessments are 50%, so half of your overall grade in the class. Assessments include quizzes, tests, writings, projects, presentations, all those kind of things. Those are assessments, okay? And the last part is participation, which is 25% of your overall grade. And participation can be both in class, and I also take participation grades if we have to go on quarantine again and we're having class meetings like every day or every other day on Zoom or Google Meet. I take participation grades there as well. And I will talk a little bit more later on in this video about participation. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about some specifics with grades, okay? So the first thing I wanna talk about is bonus points. Okay, so here's how I roll. I do not give individual extra credit projects or extra credit work. If I'm gonna offer extra credit to someone, I need to offer it to everyone, okay? Which sometimes I do that, right? Sometimes I do give extra credit, but if I do, I'm gonna offer it to an entire class, okay? So, but another thing to keep in mind is that there is almost always some bonus built into my quizzes and tests, and I love to give lots of bonus points on quizzes and tests as well. And they're not always very difficult even, okay? Oftentimes, let's say for example, we are having a little vocab quiz. Let's say there's a set of 20 vocab words that we've been studying, and maybe I pick 10 of those to be on the quiz. Madame is very well known to include a bonus section on the quiz. And what you do for that bonus section is, hey, any of those other 20 vocab words that you did not already use on the quiz, if you can remember any of those, write it down for me in French, draw me a picture of it so that I know that you know what it is, and I give you bonus for that. Woohoo! Those are words that you already had to learn anyways, that you were already supposed to know anyways. So my bonus, they're not super crazy, ridiculous, difficult. I hope that makes sense, okay? All right, next we're gonna talk about assignments and activities, okay? Assignments, also known as devoir, homework in my class, they're announced in class and they're also gonna be posted on my Google Classroom, okay? And most often, my assignments are due the very next day or the very next class period, okay? Because we do little assignments. I don't give big, huge, like, oh, here's this huge packet and you have a week to get it done. No, my homework assignments are usually pretty small, 15, 20 minutes maximum, okay? But the homework that you do have, it's very, very important that you get it done, okay? And especially while we're on a hybrid schedule, the work that's assigned for you to do at home, very, very, very important that you get that done. Because if you don't, you're gonna fall way behind really fast, okay? So make sure you get your assignments done, you get them done on time. If you have an oops, and you forgot an assignment, because that happens to all of us from time to time. You may turn it in late for half credit, but I accept late assignments for half credit just the day after, okay? All right? Yeah, 50% on an assignment isn't great, but it's way, way better than a 0% for an assignment. We do not want zeros. You do not want zeros. No zeros. I'm going to talk about how I grade assignments. There are 3 different ways. The first way is for completion, okay? So for instance, if you have a homework assignment that is to do 3 different activities on Quizlet for some vocab, I go onto the Quizlet website, I look it up, and boop, 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 1, 2, 3, you got them done. There you go. You get 100% on that assignment, right? That's completion. I also grade assignments, though, sometimes for effort, okay? And what that means is you can still have mistakes, but I need to see that you were at least really trying. You were really actually putting in effort, okay? What is not effort is if I look at the worksheet and you've written down the same exact answer for every question, or if I look at your worksheet and you've written down hamburger, hot dog, hamburger, hot dog, hamburger, hot dog. Don't worry, I like hamburgers and hot dogs as much as anybody else, okay? But sorry, that's not gonna get you credit, okay? So effort, yes, it's homework. You're allowed to make mistakes on homework, I believe, but you gotta make sure that you're actually really trying and really putting in effort, okay? The last category, the last way that I grade homework, sometimes I will grade homework for accuracy, okay? Here's what that means. Maybe you have a worksheet and you've got 10 vocab words to fill in. I will go down and check, okay, you've got 10 out of 10, all right, there you go. Or if you missed one, you get a 9 out of 10, you have a 90% on that assignment, okay? Now, that always sounds scary to people, but here's what I do. Because I still believe it's homework. You should be able to make mistakes on homework and not be super penalized for that, right? Here's what I often do. Let's imagine that you've got that worksheet with 10 problems or 10 vocab words to fill in. And let's say you get 7 correct. 7 out of 10, 70%. Not horrible, but not great, right? Oftentimes, I've already decided in advance that, you know what? We're in the middle of working on this. It's still reasonable to make some mistakes. So, you know, and this is the same for everybody, I will say 3 freebies on this one. So what you would see on your paper, you would see 7 out of 10, and then you'll see, usually in a different color pen, I'll put +3. Those are your 3 freebies. You get 10 out of 10. So you made a few mistakes, but you still got 100%, and you're still able to see your mistakes, right? Now, people always ask the question, Madame, what if I don't miss any on the worksheet? Ooh, here's another opportunity for some bonus, okay? If you got a 9 out of 10 on the worksheet and there are 3 freebies, ooh, now guess what? Yep, you got a 12 out of 10. You got some bonus for that. Yeah, so that's another way to get some bonus in my class. So keep that in mind, okay? Next, we're gonna talk about assessments. All right, so in my classes, assessments are not announced in advance, which I know that everybody goes, oh my gosh, everything is pop. Ah! No, calm down. Take a big breath, calm down, okay? Here's the thing. I want to know, when I give assessments in my class, I want to know what you have truly acquired, okay? I want to know what French is really in your long-term memory, okay? I am not interested in finding out how good your short-term memory is, right? We've all played this game. Oh, I played this game when I was in high school, I'll admit it, where you cram for 30 minutes really hard. You cram all the vocab into your brain for 30 minutes right before the test. You cram it into your short-term memory, then you take the test, you spit that back out on the test, and then what happens to all that stuff that you crammed into your short-term memory? Yep. It usually floats out and it's done, right? And a couple weeks later, you don't remember it, right? That's not what we're going for, okay? I don't want to see how much you can cram and spit back out immediately on a test. I want to see how much have you truly acquired, okay? But my tests and quizzes are made in such a way that they are fair. They are geared towards that. They are geared towards assessing what you have truly acquired, okay? And I always look at stats on my quizzes and tests, and I have a goal that I like to say that about 80% of the class needs to have an A or a B on the quiz or a test in order for it to count, okay? If we take a quiz or a test in my class and let's say 75% of the class has C's or D's or F's, whoa, bing, 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 big red flag to me that either something went wrong, I didn't teach it well enough, we need to go back and review some more, maybe the quiz was too tough, something like that. I would not count a quiz like that, okay? One more thing to keep in mind though, with quizzes and tests is that I usually do not offer retakes, okay? So I wanna see what you've acquired to that point, right? Along with everybody else, okay. All right, next, participation. So this is a big one for my class, okay? You get participation points in class almost every day, okay? And I will enter them into the grade book usually at the end of each week, okay? How do you earn participation points? Okay, so there are lots of ways, right? Staying on task, paying attention, being actively engaged, right? Okay, so that's being actively engaged, actively learning the whole time, right? Okay, volunteering, contributing to discussions, things like that, and speaking French, especially when the French flag magnet is on the board. Ooh, this is my little signal. I have a rule in my class that when the French flag magnet is on the board up front in my classroom, that we're all only in French, okay? Now, I will tell you this. I'm not sneaky about it, okay? I don't just walk up to the board and go and sneak away. No, that's not how it goes down, okay? Here's how it goes down. When I put the French flag magnet on the board, I usually smack it on the board so it makes a loud noise. Bam! And I point to it. And it's super obvious to everybody in the room that, oh, the French flag magnet is on the board. You need to be speaking in French, okay, right? And of course, if you just happen to goof up and forget for a second and you start speaking English, I'll just remind you, hey, français s'il vous plaît, right? And that's fine. I would not take away participation points if you just forgot for a second, okay? But if I say français s'il vous plaît, and then you're still in English, you might lose some participation points for that, right? Okay. Other ways that you can lose participation points, if you're not paying attention, if you are chit-chatting with a neighbor, okay? Listening is so important in this class, okay? You need to be listening to as much French as possible while you're in class, okay? And if I'm talking or another student is speaking, but you're sitting there chit-chatting with your neighbor, you're not hearing French. And you're probably bothering your other classmates as well, okay? So, no chit-chat, okay? And we'll be all good. Also, make sure that you don't have your cell phone out during class at all, okay? That's another one. I'll give you detention. You can lose participation points for that as well, okay? But yeah, just stay on task, be engaged in class, you'll be good to go.